Listen, random orange bird, the next-gen consoles are probably going to be delayed due to skyrocketing memory prices. Who are you?
I just wanted some sauce on those zingers.
Hello everybody, welcome to the show. I'm formerly known and now known again as Rich Review Tech USA, and I have a couple shameless plugs for you. First and foremost, make sure you subscribe to this channel. I'll be uploading content starting in January, especially on a regular basis, and I stream on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, not sure of the time yet, I'll be doing a marathonish New Year's Eve stream, and it should be a lot of fun. So make sure you sub to Review Tech USA, and also make sure to sub to my ASMR channel. I'll be uploading new content there starting in January as well, and I already have plenty of content uploaded now, so if you go check it out, there's plenty of stuff to check out right at this moment. I'll have a link to my ASMR channel in the description and top pinned comment also. So RAM prices, as you're seeing here, are absolutely out of control. To get a 32 gigabyte of Corsair memory, which Micron, who makes Corsair, their consumer brand of memory, they're no longer making Corsair in 2026. They're winding it down to focus on AI data centers. Look at this kit, $408. You could get a good GPU for the same price, 32 gigabytes of RAM. Dude, there was a time you could get that for like $100 and something bucks. It's out of control, and it's they're saying in 2026, for at least 2026, it's going to get worse. RAM prices have surged dramatically in late 2025, with some DDR5 kits seeing price increases of 100 to over 300%, driven primarily by massive AI data center demand shifting supply away from consumer products, leading to shortages and record high costs for both DDR4. Yes, that's seeing price increases too. Not as high, but still, it's amazing that old memory like that is seeing price increases. And DDR5 memory. Specific examples show DDR5 prices doubling or tripling, with some 32 gigabyte kits jumping hundreds of dollars in just a couple months. I just showed that to you. Corsair memory on the Best Buy website. And analysts expect these high prices to continue into 2026. So if you're expecting RAM prices to plummet like in a couple months back down to what you could get a 32 gigabyte kit for, I don't know, even this past summer, it ain't happening. It's just not happening. So prepare for RAM to be very unaffordable and very expensive, and prepare for a bunch of your consumer products, not just PCs and gaming consoles, to increase in price. And also expect companies to lower how much RAM smartphones and computers have and laptops have. So in a way, we're going to be regressing. We're going to go back to where you're going to get laptops and stuff with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Hey, at least maybe developers will have to optimize their software more and apps more. So there's that. Yay. So due to these RAM prices that we may be dealing with for years to come, hopefully I'm wrong, the next PlayStation and, next Xbox, if you want to call it an Xbox, it's just going to be a PC, are going to be delayed because of it, which may not necessarily be a bad thing. This info comes from GamerRant.com and Insider Gaming. I'll read it to you, then we'll discuss. According to a report from Insider Gaming, console manufacturers are supposedly debating whether to delay their next-gen platforms amid this shortage. While consoles typically use a specialized form of memory separate from what games find in PCs, they still need RAM, and companies typically source it from the same suppliers as everyone else does, because there's Micron. Well, it was Micron. Now they're just doing enterprise stuff and trying to make as much money off AI as possible. There's SK Hynix, and there's Samsung. And now Micron is out of the picture. They were making Crucial. They're getting away from consumer memory because they want to get that sweet AI cash. Keep in mind, right before they said they were bailing on the consumer industry, Micron said we're focusing on gamers and the consumers. And they were like, haha, we lied to you. We really weren't. You can't tell me when they released that statement saying they're focusing on the consumer that they knew they weren't going to be focusing on the consumer. They absolutely do. God, man, corporations are so terrible. Continuing on, as just a few manufacturers account for most chip production. Consequently, companies like Sony and Microsoft also feel the effects of more RAM going toward AI applications, which could make production bottlenecks or raise costs. With the next-gen Xbox and PS6 reportedly targeting a 2027 launch window, it's possible the shortage won't resolve by the time these consoles are set to come out, so a delay may be necessary to avoid price hikes. A recent Micron report stated the RAM shortage could last beyond 2026, and some people are saying deep into 2027, as it will take time to construct more clean rooms to support higher memory production. If that's the case, it would certainly impact the PS6 and future Xbox if Sony and Microsoft intend to begin manufacturing in early 2027, as current rumors suggest. As Insider Gaming points out, consoles have historically subsidized their prices through game sales, but there's only so much subsidizing you could do if the cost of making the product is insanely high. That was me saying that. But if RAM costs get high enough, that may not be enough to offset the expenses, especially considering how the next generation will already be expensive to produce. Waiting for conditions to settle would help Sony and Microsoft avoid passing higher costs on to consumers. Now, as much as I have grave concerns as to how RAM prices may change computing for consumers forever, not just with the AI bubble, can I say that this may be a silver lining? That the consoles may be delayed? Because let's keep it real. And it's not just because I'm old. There's a lot of people from their 20s to my age, whoever plays games, who were like, what the hell happened to the 9th generation? I'm not saying we haven't had amazing games. Elden Ring says hello, even though that was cross-platform. Cross-generation, I mean to say. I feel like we haven't really tapped into this current generation. And I'm not saying that the consoles are not getting older and aging, but I don't really feel like the 9th generation's potential has been tapped into, and a lot of other consumers feel the same way. So to me, for Sony and Microsoft to delay their next-gen systems, it's like, oh, okay, cool. And there are even PlayStation 4 games still being made in 2025. So think about it. They're still being, even though, yeah, it's winding down and they're sunsetting PS4 development for games, I should say, that's still a thing. It's 2025. So you're still making games for 8th gen consoles, which released in 2013, and you're already trying to push out the 10th generation of consoles. So what's going on here? If companies, if third-party developers are still making some cross-gen games, even though, like I said, it's dwindling for the PS4, you can't tell me that they're fully going in on the current generation hardware. So we haven't really tapped into fully the current generation hardware, and you're already trying to push out next generation systems? No, there's no way. There's no need for it. It's not like we're seeing the profound leaps from generation to generation like we used to. So to push out next gen systems when people don't even feel like there's systems they currently have that they invested in and that really haven't gone down in price, we've already went into that, the PS5 and Series X, to tell them that, like, oh, hey, that console you just bought for $500, yeah, and like just about a couple years, if not less, you're going to have to get a new piece of hardware. That's not going to sit well with people, especially when they don't feel that their console has reached its full potential yet. It's not like the 8th generation where the CPUs inside the PS5 or Series X were based on those anemic, terrible AMD Jaguar cores that were a huge bottleneck for the 8th generation. They're based on Zen 2 cores now. And yes, Zen 2 is getting somewhat long in the tooth, but it's nowhere near as bad as the Jaguar cores were, especially towards the end of the life of the 8th gen consoles. So look, RAM price increases are catastrophic, and it spells doom and gloom for all of technology. It's not just game consoles. Like I said, you have a smart fridge, it's going to affect the price of that. But game consoles, the 10th gen consoles being delayed for maybe even a couple more years, I don't really see anyone complaining about that. Everyone wants to stay on the same hardware because they feel like the hardware they purchased hasn't been utilized yet. And I don't blame them. I feel the same way. This is Rich of Review Tech USA signing out. Make sure you sub to this channel and my ASMR channel, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.